My sister-in-law and I were pregnant at the same time. Tina, my mother-in-law, claimed that eating snake meat would make the baby stronger. She even forced me to eat its brains. I told her that snake meat would harbor parasites. But she scolded me bitterly. After Olivia, my sister-in-law, gave birth to a child, both she and her daughter died. Tina was heartbroken, thinking that it was my curse that led to their deaths. She instigated my husband, Andy Keith, to snatch my child away. And then I was pushed down the stairs and killed on the spot. Opening my eyes again, I went back to the day when I first ate snake meat. Oh my. It's really a double blessing. What a great thing. The moment Tina suddenly slapped her thigh, I came back to my senses. It seemed like I was reborn. I heard from a fortune teller a few days ago that eating snake meat can help pregnant women give birth naturally without a cesarean section. And the baby will be lively and healthy. It'll prepare more for you later. She happily picked up the bag and walked out. I almost wanted to hold her back, but as I recalled the tragedy of my previous life, I put my raised hand down again. I just watched Tina leaving. Olivia smiled slightly, asking me thoughtfully whether the baby was a boy or a girl. She asked the question again in my previous life. She asked me during my entire pregnancy. After she knew it was a boy, she repeatedly tried to trip me up, and almost caused me to have a miscarriage. At the thought of it, my heart tightened. The doctor hinted that it was a girl. After I finished speaking, Olivia didn't frown anymore. Sitting leisurely on the sofa, I waited for Tina to come back. The surroundings were so familiar that it reminded me of everything that had happened in my previous life. Ever since Tina found out both of us were pregnant, she would bring back snake meat now and then, claiming that it was to nourish the baby's body. I refused to eat it. So she replaced all the pork with snake meat, just to trick me into eating it. I didn't realize it at first, but after finding out, I secretly spit it out. Later, Olivia was found to have too many parasites in her body, and then both she and her daughter died on the operating table. Tina insisted that I was the one who cursed her daughter and took her life. When they were fighting to grab my child, I was pushed down the stairs and died on the spot. Since I lived my life again, I would never let it happen again. After a while, Tina opened the door and entered the room. The blood-red meat was filled with a fishy smell. When the smell wafted over to me, my stomach churned so that I was almost about to vomit. Olivia walked over curiously, with greed in her eyes. Mom, where did you get this good stuff? Can it really strengthen my body after eating it? Tina nodded seriously and gave her a meaningful look secretly, hinting that she stopped asking more questions. It seemed that the source of the meat was definitely not normal. I found her words ridiculous. After eating it, the human body would grow a large number of parasites, and in serious cases, it could even lead to death. The meat was cooked quickly, and its color was white. Tina then placed it before us, with traces of blood seeping out between its textures. I even seemed to see worms wriggling in the shredded meat. Just as I was about to leave, Tina stopped me and ordered, "Eat quickly, to nourish my grandson." Upon hearing this, Olivia immediately looked up at me. She was dissatisfied with it, saying, "Mom, what nonsense are you talking about? Sophia has already said it's a girl." I smiled and waved my hands, closing my eyes and making up my mind. Since it was such a good thing, you should keep it for Olivia. It's a pity to give it to me. Smiling happily, Olivia grabbed the meat and swallowed it whole before her mother could say anything. I could even hear the juices popping. Before long, the whole plate of meat was eaten up by Olivia. She leaned back in the chair contentedly, her belly slightly bulging. How about that? I told you the snake meat is good. After just one meal, the baby has grown up. If you eat it for 7 months, he will be full of energy. Tina clapped her hands and picked up the phone to contact the supplier. As she was distracted, I sat aside and thought about countermeasures. The tragic scenes of my previous life